Welcome back to This Day in Irish History. I'm your host, Raymond Welsh. Before we dive into today's story, if you'd like to explore other significant events that happened on this day in Irish history, visit thisdayirishhistory.com. The link is in the episode description. Now, let's travel back to April 13th, 1918, to a quiet village in County Kerry, where a bold and deadly raid on the Royal Irish Constabulary Barracks at Gortatlea took place, an event some historians regard as the opening act of the Irish War of Independence. By the spring of 1918, the political atmosphere in Ireland had reached a boiling point. Although the Easter Rising had taken place 2 years earlier, the struggle for Irish independence had yet to reach full revolutionary momentum. The British government's proposal to introduce conscription in Ireland, at a time when Home Rule remained undelivered, infuriated nationalists and Republicans alike. In Kerry, as elsewhere, the Irish Volunteers were preparing for a fight they believed was inevitable. That brings us to Gortatlea, a small, unassuming village near Laide, home to a modest but strategically placed RIC barracks. The Royal Irish Constabulary, the armed police force representing British authority in Ireland, was increasingly seen by the Republican movement as a legitimate military target. The Kerry Brigade of the Irish Volunteers, already organising and training in secret, saw an opportunity to strike both symbolically and practically by launching a direct attack on Crown forces and seizing badly needed weapons. In the early hours of April 13th, a group of volunteers, under the command of senior figures in the Kerry Brigade, staged a raid on the Gortatlea Barracks. The operation was daring and ambitious. Armed primarily with shotguns and revolvers, they hoped to surprise the garrison, overwhelm it, and seize any available arms and ammunition. The attack achieved partial success. The volunteers managed to breach the building and capture some weapons. But the price was steep. During the course of the raid, 2 young volunteers, John Browne and Richard Laide, were killed. Browne, from nearby Knocknagoshel, and Laide, from Tralee, were among the first to fall in what would become a long and bloody war for Irish independence. Their deaths shocked the local community and galvanised Republican sentiment in Kerry and beyond. Browne and Laide were hailed as martyrs, their sacrifice remembered in local lore and commemorated in song and story. Though the raid did not garner the widespread attention of later actions, such as the Solo Head Beg ambush in 1919, some historians argue that the attack on Gortatlea marks the true beginning of the War of Independence. It was, after all, a premeditated, armed assault on a symbol of British authority, carried out by members of a Republican military organisation. It was also a demonstration of how far the Irish Volunteers were willing to go, even before the war had been formally declared or widely recognised. In the months and years that followed, Ireland would be plunged into a protracted and brutal conflict. The RIC became a frequent target. Barracks were attacked and burned across the country, and British forces responded with increasingly harsh tactics. Yet it's important to remember the smaller sparks that lit the flame, and the men who struck them. The Gortatlea raid, though modest in scale compared to the larger battles that followed, holds a distinct place in Irish memory. It was an act of defiance, carried out at a time when the outcome was far from certain. And for John Browne and Richard Laide, it was the final expression of their commitment to Irish freedom. And thank you for joining me on this journey through Ireland's rich past. Please like and subscribe, and until next time, I'm Raymond Welsh. Slán go foil.